going on, world? It's your girl Emmy here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my bedroom. I feel like it's been a while since I filmed. I was out of the country, just visiting family, just really trying to be present. And I know that there's still been content that's been posted, but I haven't made content in like maybe 2 months. So yeah, I think also like the last 2 months I've really just been thinking about like the type of content I make. How can I put more of myself in the content that I'm making? So I really just want to figure out like how to make this community stronger and what you want to see. So I want to try something a little different. It's still kind of on topic. For this video, I just kind of wanted to talk about why and how I got into astrology and like my journey of just getting myself to post this type of content online. I just want to share more of myself for you guys. And sometimes I feel like it can be hard when the content I'm making is very like, not educational, but like I'm giving you information. So it can be hard to like find a way to share information about me. Not to sound conceited, but I don't know. I want to like make a little bit more of a connection with you guys. So I'm gonna stop rambling now and just get into it. But before I go any further, you know what to do. Subscribe and like this video, duh. Also, I do want to say thank you for 2,000. I didn't say anything when I hit 2,000, so because I haven't been making content in the last 2 months. So I just want to say thank you for subscribing, thank you for fucking with the vibe, thanks for feeling me, and I'm really happy that the content I'm making is resonating with you, and I want to do more of that. Okay, so yeah, I'm a rambler. Let me just get right to it. So I was introduced to astrology in like 2017, 2018. I had a friend who was, I guess, kind of at the level that I'm at right now. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not like, I have taken like a class, like a beginner's class. I'm not an astrologer. Like, I'm just somebody who really likes astrology. I enjoy learning about it. I enjoy reading about it. I'm not like a professional. I don't want people to like get that misconstructed, and I've also been very like open that like I'm still learning astrology. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start this channel in the first place. Was I just really like talking about astrology, and I felt like the people around me were kind of like, this girl doesn't shut up about astrology. But I knew that there's a lot of people out there who really like to talk about it or like to listen about it and want to learn about it. And whenever I find those people like out in life, like before I had this channel, like they were always really like interested in like what I had to say and said that it was accurate. So how I started the channel, but I got introduced to it because I had a friend who was, you know, at the level that I am now, I guess it's fair to say. I liked how she was able to understand people, I guess, get into the psychology of a person. So seeing my friend like back, I guess that was like, what, 5 years ago now? Damn, 2017 was 5 years ago. That is so crazy. But yeah, she was just really able to help people reflect or like understand certain, like make certain connections that they never really made. And I thought it was really interesting that this chart, whatever, this mystery chart to me, was able to really just help people understand why they do things the way they do it. So that was like kind of my introduction, was a friend who basically would go around asking people's charts and like reading them. I was like, oh, that's really interesting, especially because I've always been someone that's been interested in psychology. A lot of the books I like to read are about like mind-body connection and just like mental health and different principles of life, like why people do the things that they do. I guess seeing how she would help people reflect or just like make simple, like she would just make it so simple of why they do things the way they do, I guess, that really intrigued me about astrology. So after that, you know, I just started looking into books. It was the first place that I started with Dr. Leela Africa, who has like an African approach to astrology and like also like a really big mythology nerd. As you guys have seen, I do have videos on a few different deities, which I do want to make more of because I really enjoy it, especially like African mythology. I'm African, so like I really like learning about the continent and like just how powerful and strong it is to know that like this information has persisted and existed after our stories in existence have been tried to be wiped away so hard. Our stories still exist. So that was kind of why I got into Dr. Leela Africa. Also, pause, around this time, like 2017, 2018 was where I first started like my spiritual journey and just like understanding spirituality and like myself, making a diet change. That's when I became vegan, which I'm not vegan anymore. I'm vegetarian now, but I guess pescatarian. But my first spiritual awakening happened around 2017. And I would say that my spiritual awakening also included astrology, understanding like mythology and like African history and African spirituality and African health, like African medicine. So Dr. Leela Africa, if you've never heard of him, has a few really great books. African holistic health is really interesting. I recommend it. So that was why I like just segued from like learning about health. I have a bachelor's in public health and a minor in holistic health. So like I'm really like interested in health, and being that I'm African, and I'm really interested in learning not about Western medicine, but more Eastern perspectives and like just African perspectives as well. So that was what led me to Dr. Leela Africa and Dr. Leela Africa's teachings on astrology. I already mentioned I have a pretty good like understanding of mythology. Mythology plays a really big role in astrology. I think people tend to forget that, or they just fixate on like the planets. A lot of the stories behind the planets and behind the signs are directly tied into their mythology. Lilith, Chiron, Mars, Venus. Once I started seeing the connection between astrology and mythology, it kind of made me even more interested. And I think astrology, when you understand like different aspects of it, first of all, intuition is needed in astrology, but also understanding the mythology aspect of it. It definitely fed my curiosity about it even more, because it was another area that I'm already interested in. When I started to see that connection, I wanted to know more, basically. So being a mythology nerd basically got me hooked, is what I'm trying to say. Around this time, I feel like I'm bouncing around a lot of places, but like this is just my journey with astrology and spirituality. Like around this time, I was really interested in learning about Eastern perspectives and just understanding like the elements and like what they represent, like what water represents, what fire represents, what earth represents. It was interesting because everything that I was really passionate about at that time has its element in astrology, you know, whether it be the mythology aspect, the understanding the element aspect, and like which plays a big part in other forms of mythology and spirituality. Seeing that there was connections in that in astrology got me even more hooked. So once I kind of got a better understanding the elements, understanding, you know, mythology, once I kind of understood how that played a part in astrology, that was when I first started like following the moon. So every new moon and full moon, which is one of the reasons why I like say that, like follow the new moon and the full moon, find where this transit is happening in your chart. Like I say that so much on my channel because that was something that was so groundbreaking for me, because as above, so below, right? Understanding the energy that is being brought down to earth kind of helps me navigate, especially I'm a Cancer. I'm very like just naturally a bit more intuitive. Tracking the new moons and the full moons really helps me just be grounded, and really helped me understand, like, because I'm so sensitive to the moon, being that I am ruled by the moon, Cancer is ruled by the moon, that was what made me want to get into tracking the moon, right? And following the new moons and the full moons and figuring out what's going on in my chart, and figuring out why I feel the way that I feel at this present moment, and like what do I need to release, what do I need to bring in, what areas should I be manifesting in my life. And it was so interesting how every time I would do that, it was really accurate to the emotions that I was feeling. So it was basically like astrology became a deep therapist for me, like just being able to follow that. And like, of course, at that time, like I would have to still Google and like, what does it mean when the moon is transiting my 5th house, or like Jupiter in the 4th house of Capricorn? Like, what does that mean when this is happening? And like that information, that data was always just so accurate, and it provided me a lot of clarity when I would feel lost or overwhelmed, or just like where my head moves really fast. Like my brain is always like, and it kind of like helps me figure out like, okay, like this is what is going on. And like it helps me break down the chaos and realize that things aren't as chaotic as I make it seem. But the more that I started to understand astrology, the more it really helped me with being a better person. I feel like once you understand someone's like moon sign, for example, or like their Mercury sign, you know, moon is your emotional aspect of yourself and Mercury is your communication. Once I understood like, oh, you have, even just by basic elements, right? Like if you have a water moon or water Mercury, then you're gonna be somebody that if I'm gonna tell you like this upset me, I should beat around the bush and give it like a compliment sandwich, like love you, hate this, but I love you type of thing. Versus like if somebody has like an earth or a fire, I have to be a lot more direct. And this really helped me because I'm not that direct of a person. I am a crab, right? I'm the Cancer, so a little sidestep sometimes. Understanding what people require and what people need, and like love languages or like things like that, like you're understanding their chart can help you understand those things about people. So it really just helped me be a better friend. It helped me just get a better idea of what people require. I loved that even more. Like I loved understanding like psychology of, okay, this person might come off sensitive. Like you might not be able to see this, but they are very upfront. Or like this person may seem like they're so upfront, but they can't handle you telling them off, or like you not necessarily telling them off. It sounds so rude, but like, you know, you checking them. Or like some people they want to hear it right in the moment. Some people you need to tell them like once you get home. So like it helps me understand how to do that with certain people. And like you can make the argument like, oh, if they're your friend you would know anyway, but like I've avoided a lot of arguments because I knew how to approach a person or handle a situation with a person, because I had a better idea of their psychology, because that's what astrology has shown me, or like that's how I've been able to connect with people, if that makes sense. I started applying it in my life and in my relationships, and I noticed like I was able to really strengthen my relationships. And also, I don't want to say astrology made me, I'm an avoidant person. I think I've always been scared to get close to people. I'm not saying that astrology is the reason why I'm less like that, but I think it kind of gave me a better idea of like, oh, like if you have this in air, like you're probably like not a flaky person, but you're probably somebody who like is gonna do what they want or might change their mind last minute. And like I can't take that personally because of these placements, and that's helped me grow as a person. So yeah, then I started getting more comfortable with astrology. Like I don't know what year this is now, but I started getting more comfortable with astrology. I started getting more comfortable with reading people's charts or asking people for their charts, especially people I didn't know, just because like if I just met you, it became like my party trick, you know? Like, I mean, of course I can read the charts of people that I'm close to, but there's a bit more of a shock factor when I'm able to read somebody that I don't know. So that made me feel like I'm less biased, or is this really because I'm reading it, or is it because like I know you, you know? So that kind of eliminated that like in my head. So I really enjoyed that. I think it's still my party trick. Of course, now I can go way more in depth than I was able to in the past. But I think seeing people's reactions, seeing how shocked people were by how accurate it was, has definitely been one of the main reasons why I have continued. Definitely motivated me to learn more, because I liked the reaction of it. And like I also just really enjoyed getting to know people, like I said, and just like understanding people in a different way. Yeah, sometimes I can know a little too much because it says everything, but I'm not an expert at astrology. I've never claimed to be an expert. I've never claimed to be like, oh, I'm this astrologer or something. I think the more in depth that I've gotten in astrology, the more I wanted to talk about it, just because I thought it was just so much fun to talk about. That's kind of like what pushed me to start a YouTube channel, because not everybody wants to hear it, and like I wanted to get a better understanding of every single like sign. So that's why like a lot of my content is like the sun in this and the moon in this and like all the 12 signs. I guess it was like my way of just talking. I love to talk, but also just like I guess sharing the information that I've learned over the years. And clearly you guys have been receptive of it, which makes me so happy. I'm not gonna like, I can't even like hide that. Like I love seeing comments. I love seeing reactions of like, you read me, or like, you know, things like that. Like it really does make me feel like full in the inside. I'm not an expert. You can tell I know how to like articulate about astrology, but I'm clearly not a professional. There's so much to learn about astrology. Like the more I learn about it, the more I realize that like I could really learn about this forever, especially if I'm trying to learn about like other systems. Like I don't know anything about Vedic, but I would love to learn more about Vedic, just because it's more predictive, I guess. Right now, learning more about the psychology and like just mastering tropical Western astrology is definitely like my goal. But there really is a lot to it. You know, there's synastry charts, there's progress charts, tropical versus sidereal. Like there's a lot to astrology. So the more that I accept that, and the deeper that I go, like I have a Gemini Mars, so this is probably the longest I've ever stuck to anything. So that shows that I really like it. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want to expand more on here. I don't really know what that means. I think I kind of touched on it earlier. Like I really just want to share more of myself. And I feel like I can't do that if I'm talking about a topic that doesn't always necessarily like concern me. It's just more about providing you with the information, and like I want to make this like more deeper. I want to have a deeper connection with you guys. I want to share more of myself. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, I think what I've done with this channel is really just like where I'm at in life is what the content I make is, right? So like the last 2 years I've been really at a place of just trying to get deeper with astrology. And don't get me wrong, I don't really see myself stopping. I do kind of see myself taking a break, but knowing myself, I probably would come back because this is kind of the longest relationship with anything I've ever had. Right now, I feel like I'm really at a place of self-improvement, and I really want to share that, whether it's like my own personal stories or tips and things that are helping me along the way of my self-improvement journey. So I don't really know what that means for this channel. I really don't. I just know that I want to share more of myself, but I also want to honor the fact that what would be better to share than what I'm currently going through, you know? I don't really know what that looks like. Like I'm even thinking about going back to school, getting my master's. So there's a possibility that I might post more like graduate school content. I don't know. Right now, I feel like I need a new start in life, and I don't know what that looks like. And I don't know what that looks like for this channel. And I guess I'm just trying to prepare you. Yeah, I guess I don't know, you know, that's all I can really say. What I do know is that I want to share more of myself for sure, and I want to share my thoughts. I want to share things about me. I want to share maybe vlogs. By vlogs, I really don't know. I'm not ditching astrology. I love astrology. Astrology is my first love. I just feel like I can only share so much about me, and like sometimes it becomes like presenter mode versus like a person, or like I don't like that. Like I want to be able to just, I have a lot of personality, okay? And I don't think you guys have all seen it. I mean, you've probably seen glimpses because there's a lot of different personalities that I have, but I want to just want to give it, you know? I want to give it. I want to have more of a conversation with you guys versus like I'm preaching or I'm telling you about a topic. Yeah, that's my astrology journey. That's why I started making YouTube videos on astrology. I don't really know if that's like a good answer or anything, but that's my answer and that's my truth. Yeah, I hope you like this video, and I hope you like me, and I hope you're willing to stay even if I do go through some change. I need to really like sit with myself also, because I really just don't know what I want. I think after coming back from my trip, like with my family and stuff, my mom's health isn't the best. I think just seeing that is really just making me rethink what I want, and I'm at that like rethinking phase, not the applying phase. I don't really know what it is that I would be applying at this moment, but yeah, that's my story. And thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you stayed to the end. I really appreciate it, and let me know down below what you would like to see, maybe around self-improvement, maybe around astrology, or just anything else that you think you would like to hear me talk about. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I love you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.